be seated. It's hard to believe we're at the third Sunday of November. We're here in this time of this shifting of seasons, of the leaves of the trees are saying, okay, I'm getting ready to say bye-bye. And we're still in this month of russet, of renunciation, this incredible power that's innate within us to let go. Now, so for today's talk, it's, can you see the light through all that stuff? Now, 2 weeks ago, when I talked Letting Go, A Path to Freedom, I off the cuff referred to a book that I used to own. And in it, there's incredible wisdom. It's called Clutter's Last Stand. And the author is Don Aslett, who, with his Varsity Cleaners, is one of the foremost cleaning companies in the nation. He's got cleaning products and books, and he just knows about this stuff. And this book, I had to order it on Amazon. It was readily available. It's full of pithy wisdom about how to embrace our lives by letting go of the stuff that doesn't serve us anymore. And he says here, I have found that every one of us is a junker. It's the single biggest reason for personal unhappiness. Now, being a cleaning expert, he's putting the classification that each of us has the ability to hold on to stuff that doesn't serve us anymore. Hence, a junker. I'm a junker. Anybody else a junker? Yes. And if we look at that stuff from our past, that stuff that's happened, that stuff that we just haven't processed, sorted, gotten rid of, it's the source of our unhappiness. Looking at your life, any of that stuff, any of that unfinished, undealt with stuff, do you source any of your personal happiness from that stuff? No, because it's so unimportant. On the scale of life, this stuff is like the bottom of the barrel. So there's great wisdom here. Now, I turn to Edmund Hillary, who was Sir Edmund Hillary. He was the first man to make it to the top of Everest and come back alive. And he says here, it is not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. So if you've got one of those closets, the kind of closet that just by opening the door, stuff's going to fall out, or that kitchen drawer that I just want a screwdriver, and you just can't open the drawer easily without a lot of force or sticking your hand in there hoping you don't get cut on a pair of scissors or something. It's not the mountain. It's ourselves. It's waking up to who and what we really are. And that's our journey in unity. Our journey is knowing that we're one with God. And this is a very practical wisdom from one person who really, it takes a lot of focus and energy to get to the top of Everest, not to mention a lot of very cold water and air and altitude. Hello, I'm a sea level kind of guy. So it's not about the mountain. I love that. Thank you, Edmund. And then I now turn to this wisdom. In ancient Hawaii, they say that we're each born with a bowl of light. It's a bowl of pure, divine, holy light. And as we go through life, that anger is like a stone in our bowl. That unforgiveness is a stone in the bowl. That old relationship that didn't work as a stone in our bowl. And all of a sudden, our bowl is full of stones. Can you see the light through all that stuff? So life becomes a journey of offering some forgiveness. Letting go. Just recycle it. The divorce was over 20 years ago. It's over. And begin to lighten up and allow that light to guide us. That light is that light of God that's within each of us. Whether you call it divine nature, or you call it God or Jesus or Allah, or it doesn't matter what name you give it. It's that innate light within all of us. And so we can take from this wisdom a metaphor for how we can live, move, and have our lives. And I love this wisdom. Thank you. And then I turn to co-founder of Unity, Charles Fillmore, who talks about another aspect of this. He says, as children outgrow their clothes, we outgrow our ideals and ambitions, broadening our horizon of life as we advance. There must be a constant elimination of the old to keep pace with this growth. When we cling to our old ideals, we hinder our advance or stop it altogether. This is how you make a bonsai tree. You take what would be a grand tree in the yard and you constrict it. You isolate it. You bind it. And then it grows very small. Well, that's the same thing for us. We live very, very small when we become bounded down by those outgrown ideals. The things I believed when I was 10 years old don't work for me now. I'm not 10 years old anymore. And guess what? The ideas I have today aren't going to serve me 10 years from now. Because as we advance, as our consciousness grows, which is kind of a goal of ours in Unity, we have to let go of other stuff. Tomorrow or yesterday is gone. Might as well let go of it. We can take our learning from it. We can cherish our memories from it. Or we can just put down the irritation rather than carrying it around for years. Now, I've carried stuff around for years. Anyone else? Maybe. Well, we can learn to let go so that we can be strong and vital and maybe open ourselves to the light of God. Let our bowl shine the light. That bowl within us. I turned to Lao Tzu, the Tao Te Ching, which is a book filled with profound ancient wisdom. Here says, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. When I let go of what I have, I receive what I need. Short, sweet, and tells it as it is. When I let go of me, myself, and I have the opportunity to awaken to what might be. Because we don't get to know what's in the mind of God until now. Until now. Until now. And when we realize that all the stuff is not what life is really about. Yes, a good working car helps get us along, and having utensils to eat with helps us eat. I mean, stuff can be very utilitarian and help, but it's not what our life is about. And when we let go of our attachment to all the stuff, we open ourselves to receive what we need. Because God always provides exactly what we need. There's no exception. Just like in nature, we are natural mammals. There's nothing unnatural about us. And we live in nature. And what happens in nature is what's provided is always what's needed. But we have to be willing to let go of our preconceived idea. It's real powerful, and it's not always easy, and it's important. I turn and we find this same idea in the Gospel of Mark in the Bible. Here he says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and are carrying your heavy burdens, and I will give you rest." We are carrying all kinds of burdens. Some of those stones in our bowl, the unforgiveness and the resentment and the judgment and the hurts and the why me's and the poor me's, all that stuff, that's the heavy burden. That's the stuff we've been dragging along till now. And all we need do is let go of it. Now trust me, if you let go of it, if you really, really want it again, you can turn around and pick it up as fast as anything. So it really doesn't go anywhere, but we can let go of it, and it's no longer in our present now. And when we come present to the now moment, guess who's there to greet us? The divine presence that everywhere, the one presence and one power of the universe. And when we are there, we can rest because we know we're provided for. What a blessing this is. And so I turn to the king of living your bliss, Joseph Campbell. He's a great writer. He's spoken. He actually shifted our culture to look at the glass half full rather than looking at the glass half empty. I'm very grateful for Joseph Campbell for his great wisdom. Here he says, we must be willing to let go of the life we planned so as to have the life that's waiting for us. This is so valuable. Now I got to tell you right off the bat, if you want to live the life you've planned, it's fine. You can live exactly what you've planned. But if you're willing to let go of the life that you've planned, you're open to the life that's waiting for you. Hence, if I was planning to live in Maui the rest of my life, it was because I was willing to let go of what I had planned that it opened me to this opportunity. And I'm very grateful. Now, often we know what's right. We know what to do in any given situation. Like when I was swimming in the water in Maui, loved being in the water, and there's this place that I was just coming back, about to arrive at my favorite place where there's a log in the water and all the fish around that log. When I get the guidance to turn right. Now the coral's over here, and this is sand. If I turn right, no fish, it's just sand. But I was becoming more and more willing to follow the inner guidance. So just a few strokes of swimming over to the right, over the sand, all of a sudden, 2 manta rays come right up to me. And I swim for 10 minutes with these manta rays. They were right at the surface. I reached out that far on this side, that far on this side. I'd touch the fins of them. It was amazing. All because I let go of what I had planned. Now, if I'd gone over to that log, I wouldn't have even seen the manta rays. Now, this is a wonderful example that continues to remind me that if I follow that inner nudge, that guidance, even though I know that there's nothing there, there's a whole world of possibility. There's a whole world of the magic that can come by being present to the moment, present to guidance. Now, if I had gone straight over here and done my little snorkeling and saw all my fishes, I would have been happy. But it wouldn't have been as memorable as swimming with 2 manta rays for 10 minutes. How many of you can say that? That's magical and powerful. And if you've done it, Sandra, you know how chicken skin fabulous that is. So all we need to do is be willing to let go of the life that we've planned. Otherwise, just do what you plan. And then I turn to the psychologist Carl Jung. He says, I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. Isn't this true? All the stuff, all of our experience, all of the relationships, all of the opinions and judgments and fears and doubts and joys. The graduations, the certificates, the awards, the second place, the easy bake oven successful cake that came out of the oven. All those experiences, just what happened to me. It's not my life, it's what happened to me. My life is what I choose to become. And what I'm more and more open to is choosing to be fully present. Right here, right now, and then allowing God to guide me. Allow us to be guided by our mission, by what our purpose is, what's important to us, so that we're living on purpose. And my purpose is to serve. My purpose is to open to that divine light and experience joy that I cannot even describe, because it's the joy of God, and I can't really describe God. God's a nice, simple label, but boy, God's a whole lot bigger than that word. And so I turned to another minister, the minister of Albert Einstein and his ministry of science and what it did in his consciousness. He says, out of the clutter, find simplicity. From discord, find harmony. In the middle of difficulties lies opportunity. So, when we decide we're going to clean up the stuff, we're going to empty out our bowl of the rocks. We can turn and we can look in and we can say, can I even see the light through all that stuff? Chances are not, because that's not where the light is. But when we choose simply just this part of the desk, just that part of the closet, just that part under the bed. The boogeyman does live under the bed, if you know what I mean. If we take our discord, the stuff that irritates us, if I trip over that box one more time, I'm going to scream so they hear me in Japan. We can bring harmony by sitting down and just, I got to keep that. Recycle that, oh, shred that. And all of a sudden, there's no box in the middle of the room. But each of these gives us an opportunity to own who and what we are and be present to this now moment. And that's a gift. And Albert Einstein knew it by just relativity. I love that. And so I turn again to the wisdom of Don Aslett, the author of Clutter's Last Stand, the genesis for this talk. He says, clutter doesn't enrich life. It ends up confusing it. Happiness comes from loving and being loved. A giant selection of things just exhausts our spiritual, physical, and emotional energy. Sorting and decision-making can occupy our every waking minute. How many of you love to sort stuff over and over again? How much of you love to just have to decide over and over again? Like, I think I'll move that box to that place, then I won't trip over it. And lo and behold, next week I'm going to trip over because I'm not used to being that place. The clutter doesn't enrich our life. It confuses it. In fact, it doesn't allow us to be fully present. And if we want more happiness, it's going to be by being loving. And as soon as we're loving others, we're going to be loved. Because whatever we give comes back to us. That's the law of the universe. Give and receive. And so we want more happiness. And if we have if we've already cleared our stuff, it's not a problem. Except when the paper arrives. Or except when, I don't know what to do with that. I don't know, I'll take care of that later on. Which we can't do everything every day. But as we let go of letting clutter guide our lives and certainly spend less of our time sorting through stuff. If I take on too much, I just go into procrastination. Because I'm so busy. I've got so much stuff. I'm so busy. Well, when I'm busy, I don't get anything done except knowing that I'm really busy, if you know what I mean. It doesn't work for me at all. So I don't even use the word busy anymore. But I attend to what needs to be done. And when I clean up that, I'm able to be here now. There's a simple practice of coming right here, right now. And I turn to the great wisdom of the tennis professional, Arthur Ashe, who says, start where you are. Right now. In the present moment, right now. Use what you have. That means use what's available to you. That might be, I'm awake. Wow, I don't have any back pain. I could take care of this. Or, I've got this person I can ask, that person I can ask, and we can use what we have. Help, our strength, our time, our energy, and do what you can. We're never going to be caught up, but we can do what we can. And that brings us right here. At the beginning, right where we are. And so it's a process over and over again of being right where you are, using what you have and doing what you can. And then we're living this life, a spiritual journey, opening to the divine guidance. And you never know, you might be swimming with two manta rays. So let's take this truth into our meditation as we settle in and allow the Unity Singers to bring us right here, right now, in song.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, teach our children to stop the fighting, start uniting, live as one. Let's get together, loving forever, a sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Breathing into this moment. We are within our personal sanctuary. When we breathe out, we recognize we are one of many here in this sanctuary. We aren't alone. We are safe. We're present with this now moment and allowing light, love, and grace to renew our bodies, to open our hearts, to know we're here now. So let's take a moment just being one with our sanctuary. And let's allow this to infuse us with strength and vitality as we now enter this time in the silence. As we emerge from this sanctuary, let's open our hearts to see what am I grateful for right now. It might be a feeling of peace. It might be our life. It might be this day. It might be anything that you're grateful for. So let's bring those thoughts of gratitude up within us as we become aware of this moment now, aware of this room. As we wiggle our fingers and wiggle our toes, we wake up and be here now. And as we open our eyes, we'll say this affirmation that goes with today's message. Together, I release anything and everything that no longer serves my unfolding good. And so it is.
Step out on the water, release your faith. Every step is stronger. Step out on the water.